Once upon a time, in a bustling city known as New York, lived an enchanting 6-year-old girl named Devi. Her life was filled with skyscrapers, hot dogs, and snowstorms, but she always felt a pull towards her roots, a land far away, filled with colors, traditions, and heartwarming family bonds. It was her ancestral homeland, India. Every summer vacation, Devi and her family would travel across the world to visit her grandmother, fondly known as Nanny, and the rest of her extended family. This year was no different. As the school bell rang on the last day before summer break, Devi's excitement knew no bounds. She could already smell the aroma of Indian spices, hear the chatter of her cousins, and feel the warm hugs of her nanny. She was eager to embark on the annual adventure that awaited her in India. The journey was long and exhausting, but Devi's anticipation kept her spirits high. As they landed in India, she was greeted with a blast of heat unlike the cool breezes of New York. The sights, sounds, and smells were overwhelming, but they were a delightful sensory overload that she looked forward to each year. Her nanny's house stood tall amidst the lush green fields, a stark contrast to the skyscrapers she was familiar with. Her nanny, a spry and wise woman, was waiting at the entrance, her face lit up with joy upon seeing her beloved granddaughter. The moment Devi stepped into the house, she felt a sense of belonging, a feeling of home away from home. Days were filled with laughter, love, and learning. Devi was fascinated by her nanny's stories about Indian mythology, the valiant heroes, and the wise sages. She helped her nanny cook traditional dishes, tried on beautiful ethnic clothes, learned Indian classical dance, and played ancient Indian games with her cousins. Each day was a new adventure, a new learning experience. However, one day, Devi felt a pang of homesickness. She missed her friends, her room, her favorite park in New York. She expressed her feelings to her nanny, who sat her down and gently said, "Devi, homesickness is natural when you're away from what you're used to. But remember, physical boundaries don't define our home. Home is where your heart is, where you are loved and nurtured. You're lucky to have two homes, two cultures to learn from, and two families who love you." Suddenly, Devi didn't feel homesick anymore. She realized how fortunate she was to experience the best of both worlds. She decided to embrace this cultural carousel, appreciating the unique aspects of each culture, instead of yearning for what she didn't have at the moment. The days passed quickly, with each day more exciting than the previous one. The climax of her trip was the grand family reunion where Devi met relatives she had only heard about. They all gathered around to hear Nanny's stories, to feast on the delicious food, and to celebrate their common heritage. In the midst of it all, Devi felt an overwhelming sense of love, kinship, and a deeper understanding of her roots. Too soon, it was time to return to New York. Devi felt a strange mix of sadness and excitement. She was going to miss her nanny, the beautiful country, and the enchanting culture. But she was also looking forward to sharing her experiences with her friends back home. As she bid goodbye, Nanny squeezed her hand and said, "Remember, Devi, you carry a piece of India in your heart, just as you leave a piece of your heart here." Back in New York, Devi couldn't stop talking about her magical trip. She narrated her experiences, shared the stories her nanny had told her, and even performed the dance she had learned. She realized the true value of her diverse heritage and the importance of family bonds. She felt proud of her dual cultural identity, of being a part of two worlds yet belonging to both. She understood that no matter where she was, both India and New York would always be her homes, because home was not just a place, but a feeling of love, warmth, and belonging. So, the story of Devi's delightful discovery ends, but her journey of exploring her diverse heritage continues. Devi's story teaches us the importance of embracing our roots, cherishing our loved ones, and appreciating our unique cultural identities. As the dark blanket of night covers the sky, we bid Devi good night, knowing tomorrow will bring another day of exciting adventures and delightful discoveries. But for now, it's time to close our eyes, carrying the warmth of Devi's story in our hearts, reminding us of our roots, our family, and the magic of diverse cultures. Good night and sweet dreams, dear ones.